Let's take a look at how to dial in a custom blues tone. Now, a great blues tone comes from the combination of how the preamp, the tone stack, the power amp, and the cabinet all interact with one another. Now again, a great way to start is to pick a preset that gets you in the ballpark. And then from there you can start to dive in and tweak things to get some specifics. Now I have an American Standard Strat here, and I'm going to set it to the neck pickup, and what I'm looking for here is kind of a throaty Stevie Ray Vaughan, kind of Jimi Hendrix sort of sound. Now I'm pretty fond of this Tweed Luxe preset that's in the blues setting. That gets me close. I think I want something just a little more powerful than that. So let's start with that and dig in. Let's start in the preamp section and let's work our way through the various tube combinations. Now another route to go is to go through the presets, but I'm going to start by working through the input stages. So remember, I've got 3 different types of tubes in this configuration here. I have 12 AX7s, 12 AT7s, and 12 AU7s, and each are going to have a different kind of tone. So I'm just going to play the same lick a couple times over, and I'm just going to tap once on the tubes themselves to get them to swap out. So we'll start with 12 AX7s in the preamp stage, as well as the cathode follower tube. Let's try 12 AT7. Now let's try the 12 AU7s. I think I like the 12 AX7s the most. Now let's play with the cathode follower tube. Let's try 12 AT7s there. Sounds a little thinner there. Let's try the 12 AU7s. Sounds even thinner still. So I'm going to go with 12 AX7s across the board. And I'm going to give the gain just a little bit of a bump here. Now later, I'm probably going to get the full grit tone that I want by adding a pedal when we move this over to jam up. But I just want to give it just a hair more gain here in the preamp stage. Now let's go over to the tone stack and go through some of the presets and see if we find one we like that we can tweak a little more. So this preset is set with an American Tweed. I'm going to start with some of the tone stack presets and see if I find one that I like better. Let's start with Boogie Tone. British Crunch, too much. British OR Tone, still too much. Try Classic Clean. I think I like that one. There's a little bit of EQing we might tackle down the road, but I think this gets me into the ballpark. I'm going to knock back the mids a little bit and see if I like that sound better. Let's try this. All right, I like that. That sounds good. Now let's take a look at the cabinet and mic placement options. And you may be surprised at how much of a huge effect cabinet and mic choice have on the final tone. And a great way to really get a sense of how deep this affects the final tone is to go to the cabinet and mic settings and under cabinet models, choose bypass. And so basically what we're doing here is it's as if we were taking a line out of the amp. We're not getting any of the speaker breakup or any of the coloration from the mic. So let's play a little riff and hear how it sounds just like this. Ugh, see, that sounds pretty harsh. So the speakers are actually doing quite a bit to mellow that out and just kind of make it a little warmer. That sounds very unpleasant. Let's start by kind of working our way through some major groups. We've got single speakers, we've got 2x12s, and then we can go to 4x12 cabinets. Let's start with a single speaker and see if that sounds bold enough for what we're looking for. So I'm going to go with a 1x12 Tweed Luxe. It's all right, it sounds a little thin. Let's see what happens when we go to a 2x12 cabinet. Let's go with a 2x12 Green 25. All right, definitely a little meatier. Let's see what happens when we move up to a 4x12 cabinet. Let's go with the classic 4x12 Celestion 30s. All right, I think I like that. That's got enough meat on the bones that I can work with that tone. Let's play a little bit with the miking. Now, as you can see right now, I've got the mic pretty off-center. Let's take it and move it a little closer to center. Now remember, when you're chasing a particular tone, you've got to consider the whole signal chain from guitar through effects, the amp, the way the room sounds, everything. With bias, what I've done here is I've dialed up a tone that really accounts for sort of the guitar, amp, and cabinet section of things. Now what I want to do is export this sound into Jam Up and play a little bit with some effects and see if I can just get that tone just a little more perfected. So let me tap the Jam Up knob and take this tone into Jam Up. Now here I've got a tube driver in front of it, I've got some filter pedals, I've got some chorus. Let's take some of these things out. I don't want chorus, so I'm going to turn that off. I'm also going to disable that filter pedal, but I am going to keep this tube driver on. Let's see how that sounds. All right, that's a little closer to what I had in mind. Now, I think I'm going to play a little bit with the front of amp tone controls because I feel like I've lost a little bit of the bass and it's gotten a little mid-rangey. So I'm going to dial the mids back and boost the bass a little bit. All right, now probably just a little too gritty for what I need, but that's a little closer to what I had in mind. So you can see that bias gives you a tremendous amount of flexibility to dial in all different shades of blue for all kinds of blues tones.